So let's welcome our third guest, Ms. Dipinder Kaur, CEO of Sober Senses Wellness Institute, an initiative to research and extend services related to holistic development of an individual. Madam is double master's degree holder in English and in psychology with specialization in clinical and counseling psychology. She has worked with people of all age groups and conducted multiple workshops and seminars on basic neuro-linguistic programming methods and strategies. She has also worked as an English language expert. I request Madam to kindly provide her valuable thoughts on today's topic.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Jaskirat. Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am. You are audible.
All right. First of all, thanks DJI for welcoming voices from distinct spheres, including mine. I'm glad to be on the panel. So being CEO of Sober Senses Wellness Institute, I'm a wellness advocate. And today our topic is women empowerment. And I would like to mention that from psychological domain and psychological point of view, women empowerment actually plays a huge role in the wellness of women. We all know Women Equality Day is now observed across the world to discover, to encourage, and to spread awareness about women empowerment. What is women empowerment? You know, women empowerment is more than a women's issue. It is the word women it includes, it doesn't mean it is women's issue. Let me tell you, actually, it is the prerequisite for a just society. I mean to say by just, non-discriminatory, non-partisan, and blameless, honest, and a fair society. So, do you think women right and women empowerment has something to do with the women? Women are very important and integral part of the society, and they are not letting to speak up, do things, they're restricted. So it has all to do with society, nothing with the women. They are rather asking for their rights. Now, to begin with, let me quote a few lines from the Declaration of 1995. They said, the advancement of women and achievement of equality between women and men is a matter of human rights. We all are human. By word human, I mean it entails all the members of the society, both men and women are equally important and integral part of the society. So I'm saying that it is a matter of human rights. Women empowerment is not something related to only women. It is society as a whole. And secondly, it is also a condition for social justice. If women empowerment is there, this is a very solid condition when you're talking about social justice. Again, society, it includes all types of members, men, women, young boys, young girls. So when you're talking about social justice, it has to be just. So therefore, women empowerment should not be seen in isolation as a women's issue. It is not a women's issue. It is a societal issue. In society, people are not giving due to the women. This is a societal issue, not a women's issue. So these are the prerequisites to build and develop a solid foundation in society. Now, the prerequisites for achieving social, political, economic, psychological, and environmental security among all people, women empowerment is must. As Dr. Just like previously in the previous lecture, she mentioned, and the girl who asked the question, she said that she's too ambitious and she's been abused for that. And then she herself gave the example of her daughter, that by so and so age, she's required to achieve this, this, and this. So means she is empowering her daughter, making her daughter become enabled to reach economic empowerment. Again, I'm saying that prerequisites for achieving social empowerment, political, economical, and psychological empowerment, women empowerment is a prerequisite for it. Now, long before #MeToo, decades before the Indian government made any laws to protect women against violence, Indian feminists had been fighting for the right for their existence. And they have been scathed in public and private spaces. The Indian women movement began actually in 1975 when the gender violation issue was first actually introduced in society. Now, to your surprise, let me mention you in 1920 it started, and rather than focusing on the core issues of women empowerment, they were using it as a complement to political revolution. Means some other political revolution was going on, so women empowerment was something, a matter to talk about, a subject matter, as we see on social media and we see on news. They pick up the topic. For example, the Nirbhaya case, they keep on talking about it. They complement the other political revolutions, but they forget the core issues. So this is what is happening. Now, to your surprise, I'm going to mention you something, not a very good detail, from the book, from the journal, Domestic Violence and the Indian Women's Movement. There was in 1920 published that even Mahatma Gandhi, who touted himself as a champion of women's rights, urged women to stop fighting for voting rights and concentrate their efforts instead on helping their partners. That is, fighting the foe, means the Britishers. They were not, Mahatma Gandhi himself was not asking women to pay attention to their rights rather than to concentrate their energy on their partners. So it's quite astonishing, not very good fact, but it is. Now, it is a very commonly used phrase and in the developing countries, and the related issues are also emerging in India. Now, what does empowerment do with the women? It founds self-confidence in them. It improves their status in society. They can touch the level of men. Women empowerment can also be called gender empowerment. Now, if a woman of a nation is empowered, it increases the overall productivity of the nation. Don't you think so? That women are equally the force, and they will be adding to the force of the nation. Now, women empowerment has actually 5 components. I'm talking about the technicalities of it. Women's sense of self-worth. They are worthy, just like men. Now, their right to have and determine the choice. They have the right to have a choice, and they have a right to determine it, whether they want to do it and whether they don't want to do it. These are the components. Like when you talk about women empowerment, we talk about, okay, give them the power and they can do this, allowing them to do that. It doesn't mean that. What you need to understand, what does it entail? It entails that she is worthy, first of all. Secondly, she has a right to have a choice and to determine it. And then the right to have a power to control their own lives, both within the house and outside the house. And when, imagine, people just come up with this idea, if you'll go out, you will be harmed by other people in the society. Don't go alone, don't step outside, and so and so. Don't you think so? The people who are giving you directions, what to do and what not to do, it's going to harm more to them or to you. So you have to tell the society, let me decide, because I'm going to be the active person who is going to get hurt. So I have a right to decide and then take my own decision. Why till now the society have been taking the decisions for you? Now, surprisingly, empowerment is not giving people power. You know, people are already powerful. They have plenty of power by the means of wealth, knowledge, and motivation, and they can do their jobs magnificently. Now, empowerment is defined as letting this power out. They were stopped from using this power. Okay, empowerment means the power is within you, and the society knows that. They were not enabling you. Now, in the words of Kabir's definition, which is a very simplest form of definition of empowerment, the expansion in a person's ability means you're already able. All women are able, all are beautiful souls, all are powerful, all hold something good in themselves. They should believe in themselves. And it is just the expansion of their ability, your ability, and to make the strategic life choices. If you want to make some choice, if you want to make strategic life choices, and you should be enabled to do that. And this ability was previously denied to you. This is what we are talking about. Now, empowerment has 6 components. When we talk about how to empower women, they now again from a psychological point of view and from a psychology domain, now the point is how psychologically empowerment is gonna help women. Let me tell you, empowerment has 6 components. How do you empower women? Cognitively, they can be empowered by the thinking, means they can be, their ability can be expanded. As I said, empowerment is expanding the ability. All are able, all have potential. It is just that you have to be, the ability has to be expanded. Next is economical. Just like doctor previously mentioned, that she's asking her daughter to be economically on her feet, independent. Legal, psychological, about which I'm going to talk about, political and social. Now, there's ample of research and studies and programs that have emphasized on all the 5 components. I will mention the social, political, economic components as well, but only a handful of research is mentioned about the psychological facet. Now, the psychological component would include the development of feelings that women can act upon to improve their condition. Means sometimes you are doubtful. You are made to ask yourself a question whether I can do it or not. You are made to question. You become conscious of yourself, of your anatomy, that I am different. I'm not allowed to do that. Where does it actually come from? Tell me. There was one question that Tanu asked. Let me tell you how this all happened and how it all started in the society. According to psychological point of view, and that to anthropology and sociology, means the social psychology, it explains that there are certain schemas. Schemas means fixed notions that are, they get installed in the society, and from generation to generation, women are told biologically how they are restrained or what all duties and activities they are supposed to do. But otherwise, as a human, she has all the capacity to do everything just like a man. So it is the schemas that have been installed over the generations, and they think, so the schemas, like for example, because of the reproductive system of a woman, she stays home after she gives birth, and man thinks that he has to go out and earn the bread. So if this is the thing, it is for the time period that she's going through something that her body is gifted with, but it doesn't fix the notion that she's only restricted to 4 walls. Okay, and in India, women are actually fighting for their existence in society, because whenever they step out, they get harmed. They get harmed. That is why we have moms taking action, hashtag Me Too movement. This is what they are actually talking and questioning the society, that women empowerment is not something to do with women. It is something to do with the society. The society at large is not taking care of women, is being biased, is being discriminatory when talking about rights. Even in, there is pay disparity. I'm sure all of you, when you are in class or you are outside doing your jobs, you must have gone through some sort of discrimination, be it a little or on a larger scale. So you will see that, I'll tell you my own example. I was taking a flight, I had to go, and I was going through the check-in, and before I was going through the check-in, there was a lady officer who was just checking me and asked me, what flight are you going to go on to and everything. You know, first I think that her first notion by looking at me was that I am a girl, means I'm a woman. Secondly, her notion was, she asked me that about looking at my name, Dipinder Kaur, she asked me whether I'm a Sikh. See, these are the labels added to you. And these are the labels, these are the schemas that are actually rooted in society. We need to take them out one by one. So now the psychological component would include the development of feeling, that you should be self-confident. And this means, from psychological point of view, the formation of a belief in a woman that gives them the confidence that they can succeed. Now, 5 types of female empowerment that ma'am was talking about is social, educational, political, and psychological. Social might be one of the most prominent one, and it is even shown in the mainstream media. It actually helps you to develop your social relations, how you are going to be empowering yourself socially on social grounds. Now, means you're going to focus on your purpose outside home. Now, there are contributions that are recognized and valued, and you will not be looked down upon as a person who's a woman, just a woman. You're just going to be looked upon as a person. Now, social empowerment fights back against discrimination, disabilities, races, ethnicities, religions, and gender issues. So this is one issue that women comes across, and they are asked that they are only looked at that, okay, there's a bias. She's a girl, she should be treated like this, and he's a boy, he should be treated like this. Then comes the educational. Education is a very crucial part, growing and developing, but there are still places where world deny education to girls. Because again, a schema means a fixed notion in society is there that exists, that she's going to get married and later on she's going to do this sort of work. So she's not going to be, she should not be given that much importance, or energy should not be put on her. Money should not be wasted upon her. So she would not get anything for the family, fetch anything from your family. So that is why education is still limited to such people, to some girls in some parts of India. Now, this takes away the fundamental right from them, that is right to education. Okay, now there is economic, where, well, as ma'am said, we've all heard that people say money can't buy happiness, but economic disadvantage can take away the access of becoming empowered. Now, then closing the gap by becoming empowered economically allow everyone to have equal footing. Women in particular would gain more significant share and control over material, human, intellectual, and financial resources. If they step out, they're doing the jobs and they are winning the domains, different areas of life, just like men. And this will actually allow them to gain economic empowerment as too. Empowerment, I'm again mentioning, it is the expanding of the ability. We all have abilities. It is just that you are denied that ability before, and now we are asking for that let us have it and empower us. We are asking the society to be just and fair and honest with us. Otherwise, women are no less than men. They can do anything what man can do. Now, political, again, the voice in politics can be substantial, actually, very, very important. And you're going to let your group's view pushed in the light of the mainstream media. If you are giving your views on political level, see, have you ever noticed that how many women and girls are interested in politics, and they are taking keen interest in such areas of life? Why so? Again, technical sides, scientific sides, political sides, not many girls take much interest into. Why? Because of the older rigid schemas that have developed in the society, and female automatically feel that no, this is not something I'm interested in. But from families where they have their ancestral people or ancestry people are already in the politics, such girls or such family members will be taking keen interest. So environment plays a role. Means to say, you have the capability. If you are showed in means the environment, that this is what you can do. It is nothing to do with the women, that women cannot be in politics, women cannot be in defense, women cannot be in so and so areas. It is just the schemas developed. Sometimes, be it your family, be it your neighborhood, be it your community, be it your city, then it gets expanded towards the nation. So the old installed and rigid schemas are causing the real trouble. So you don't have to fight them like this. You have to just take very conscious and calculated steps to go through and try and fight these schemas, make a world better place for your fellow human being and your fellow women. Okay. Now this is about political. Now me, from the psychological domain, I just wanted to focus on the psychological empowerment, which is really important for us, because empowerment, women equality, is psychologically too affecting women. This inequality is making women affect psychologically. See, if someone is stopping you from doing something, you'll get irritated. Your behavior will get, definitely altered, and you'll feel that they are targeting you. They're not looking at your talent. They're targeting you on other areas, but not something you want to do. They're stopping you for no reason, no justified reason. Now, the psychological empowerment is actually a blend of self-esteem. Now, empowering women, enabling women having a sense of self-worth, and increasing and working on their self-esteem, that no matter they're women, they should not look at themselves, look down upon themselves, that I am a woman, so this I can do, this I cannot do. You can do everything. Work on your self-esteem. You are an important individual and important part of the society. Then is self-efficacy. Again, how can you improve your efficiency? I would just mention that, suppose if you are asked to paint a room, you don't have to think about it as a man's job or it's a woman's job. I'm asking, if someone asks you to paint a room, I'm sure you will be able to do it if you put your interest. Keep this men and women tag outside, you will be able to do the best job, means, or give a competition or a good competition to the fellow man. Okay, so and you will be putting your 100%, just like any other human being. That is, means men. We say that, okay, men do better job in this. No, you both are equal. We are humans. It depends upon our entirely depends upon our talent, how much you put interest in that, and how much you have confidence in yourself, and how much you feel that I can do it because I'm human, because and I know it. Not being able to perform just because you are a woman is nothing. It is just instilled in your brain. Again, mind is a beautiful thing. Once you conquer it, once you overcome these mental barriers that have been put by society over and over again, means long before and over the generations, you will definitely overcome. If anyone says anything to you that you can't do it because you are a girl, then you must think over and say, what is he talking about? He should say that I cannot do it, maybe because I'm not good at it, or maybe my interest lies in something else, but not because I am a girl, I can't do it. Okay, and means expanding your ability, that is women empowerment. Now, self-confidence, that is a psychological factor. Empowering women psychologically is like focusing on their self-esteem, self-confidence, self-awareness. You are aware of who you are and what can you do. Give yourself some, you should give yourself a pat on your back for being who you are. And then positive thinking. Okay, and then it ultimately leads to the well-being and happiness of women. Today, my focus was actually psychologically empowering women. that please be confident. Have you paid attention that my words are only self? It is focused on you. It is your day. No one should actually bind you in this clothing or disguise of you are a woman. What? So what? Let us not allow them to use it as a curse. Have you seen it? You must have seen that when we are in argument with someone and we want to tell people, you know what it feels like when you do this. It is different for a girl, and you are not letting us do that way. You will understand it when it will happen to your sister. You will understand it when it will happen to your daughter. Haven't you seen that we are trying to curse that person? Why women are cursed? They aren't. Why they have to understand it when they are going to have a daughter? It is not a curse. It's a beautiful thing to have a woman around in the family. They are literally powerful. They can do both the works inside and outside. And psychologically means the psychologically empowering women is that boosting their self-esteem, their self-confidence, their self-awareness. Be aware of yourself and your powers, and please be positive about yourself. Anyone, you can accept all the compliments, sorry, the comments about okay, you can't do this because this and this, but never accept that because I'm a girl I cannot do it. Please, that is a gender bias. That is a gender bias. And not letting women try the hands-on. Something that men can do, women can equally do. Now, empowering women means enabling women to access skill and knowledge. When you empower them, means you give them, you enable them, they can access skills, all the skills that men can perform, men can acquire, even the knowledge. Now, even by enabling women, you're giving them knowledge to cope with the stress and trauma of the present and the future life too. See, again, my point is to pressurize and pay focus, or to put focus on the psychological empowerment. That why? Because of these schemas, I'm sure all of the women must be at least once doubting themselves, or at least must have thought at least once in their lifetime that why God has made me a girl. It should never come into your mind. You are a beautiful creature capable of doing anything and everything. You should never question your anatomy for this purpose, because you have equal and equal skill and knowledge to do so. It's just that you have to empower yourself. Now, a woman who is psychologically empowered means strong from here, that you are your abilities are expanded from here, right? You don't get affected by what people say, and you will break all the shackles, all the schemas created by society, and break them all, and then achieve. You will be focused. You'll not be paying attention to nitty-gritty things of the society. And a woman who is psychologically empowered has a capacity to increase the self-image, your image, and conquer the stigmas, whatever stigmas have been added to you. Now, as I said, psychological empowerment is what I'm going to focus on. It is actually breaking yourself free from traditional and patriarchal taboos, that women have certain obligations, they are supposed to do this. Has anyone, all of you women, go out there and ask your whosoever questions you that give me the manual. If it is so-called ritual and culture, give me the manual. Where is it written? If it has been followed so long culturally, then it doesn't mean it is correct. It doesn't mean it is correct. If it has been followed by so many people, you need to question it. Raise your voice. Again, psychologically, if you are strong, you definitely question what has been being conducted in the name of tradition and culture towards women. You will say that, no, I stand against it, because you have to prove it. Why do I have to do it? Is it non-discriminatory? Is it fair on both the grounds? A boy can do it, but I can't. it doesn't make any sense. So the boundaries, rather than constructing boundaries, you have to break them and become psychologically empowered. Okay. And social obligations, women go beyond what is expected of them in the society when they are psychologically empowered. Now this can build their self-confidence, help women recognize their self-worth, giving them chance to take control of their income and their body. Now, all 5 of these categories, they intertwine: social, political, psychological, legal. You have to be empowered. Means socially, when you step out in the society, how do you enable yourself, put your abilities and show your capabilities in society? Then there is political. On such grounds also, you should be able to put out your opinions, not because, okay, you've seen mostly men taking those roles or not many women pay attention to. It is again the schema. No one introduced in your family that politics can be something area of your interest. Again, politics is something humans are involved. Why can't you be involved in that? Go out there and give your opinion without paying attention to your gender, means to your anatomy. Okay. And then they intertwine with one another, and it is equally important to consider each one of them separately. Social empowerment is something else for women, legal empowerment is something else for women, and political empowerment is something else, economic empowerment. All you girls out there, all you women out there, it is really important to work on your economic empowerment, social empowerment, political empowerment. Means increase and expand your capability in all these areas. In this way, you will be benefiting, and ultimately knowing what work has to be done, put into these 5 categories, can provide you go in the right direction. And all empowerment, all empowerment is not just for the women, and eventually for all. So when I'm talking about empowerment, we all need to pay attention that what empowerment means, what it stands for, and expanding your abilities and capabilities, what you were denied before, and you have to ask for it and claim your right on it, and just do it on all sectors. That is it from me. If anyone has any question, and all the questions are welcome from the audience.
Thank you so much, ma'am.